Time is precious. The world revolves around it, as do the financial markets. When it comes to trading Forex, the largest market in the world, even a millisecond makes a difference. At FXTM, we work around the clock to provide you with effective trading services. Whether you're a small or big investor, access all financial markets through our advanced mobile, desktop and web trading platforms. Experience the smoothest trading thanks to our innovative technology and trading conditions. Take advantage of one of the fastest execution times in the industry. Save time with quick and simple deposits and withdrawals. We are a regulated, trusted broker, so you don't have to waste any time worrying about the safety of your funds. Our multilingual team is always on call to help you. And our experts bring trader education to the next level. Knowledge is power. So the more you learn, the faster you can reach financial freedom. At FXTM, we take the time to focus on you so that you'll have time and money to spend on what matters to you most. Time is money, invested wisely.
You write in the book, there is no faith and no courage and no sacrifice in doing what is expedient. What do you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something meaningful?
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking.
Yeah,
and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
But isn't it a luxury to pursue what is meaningful? Our viewers have mortgages, they have children, they have payments and loans. It's a luxury to pursue because we lack the resources.
Well, I don't remember now, I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice. If you need to change your job too, let's say you have a family and children and a mortgage, you have responsibilities. You've already picked up those responsibilities. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and say, well, I don't like my job, I quit. That's no strategy. But what you might have to do is you think, well, this job is killing my soul. All right, so what do I have to do about that? Well, I have to look for another job. Well, no one wants to hire me. It's like, okay, maybe you need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to update your curriculum vitae, your resume. Maybe you need to overcome your fear of being interviewed. Maybe you need to sharpen your social skills. Like, you have to think about these things strategically. If you're going to switch careers, you have to do it like an intelligent, responsible person. That might take you a couple of years of effort to do properly. We're built for struggle, us human beings. We're built to contend with the world. We're built to contend with reality. You want a challenge, and the best way that you can take on a challenge, because a challenge fortifies you. So you don't want to be secure, you want to be strong. And you get strong by taking on optimal challenges. And so you lay out your destiny in the world, and you take the slings and arrows of fate. And you make yourself stronger while you're doing so. And you might fail, and fortune might do you in. But it's your best bet. And people have extracted unbelievable successes out of catastrophic failures. And I'm not saying that in a naive way. I know perfectly well what happens to people. You're doing fine in life and then you get cancer. And then 6 months later, you're dead. And all the heroism in the world isn't going to save you at that point. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Life is bounded by mortality. But that doesn't mean that you don't get out there and contend, and you develop by contending, and you minimize the net amount of suffering in the world. And that's something, man. That's something to do.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually the story of the impeachment. Not much the impeachment though, but also the story of the stimulus, because the market are not sure if there will be a stimulus package coming through, although the impeachment story is now getting headlines in the United States by where the House of Representatives in the United States is now impeaching Donald Trump for a second time. Well, there's quite a lot of attention to it, and also that this is ludicrous because, I mean, the guy is out of office. If you impeach someone that is now an ordinary citizen, this is actually quite strange. But one thing I can say, because yesterday I was trading and I actually got a bit of a bump yesterday, because obviously there was news that came through, and I could see that the news was actually doing absolutely nothing. And the market is totally unsure of what they are doing. You could also see, not just yesterday, the day before, that you will have the NASDAQ is trading basically flat. In fact, the whole entire market for the last few days is trading absolutely flat. It's going absolutely nowhere. The dollar was going down for some time, and then it goes back up. It's like basically a yo-yo effect, what happens in the market. Gold, the same. Silver went up maybe about 1%, but then the next day, it goes down by another 1% down. So it just doesn't add up. The NASDAQ 0.4, the bond markets are sitting still. Everything is basically sitting still. Funny enough, emerging market stocks, which is now the South African, if you look at the JSE of South Africa, it's been flying. Based on what? I honestly don't know. I don't know, maybe because the vaccine arrived in South Africa, but I don't see how a vaccine will start up businesses. That doesn't make sense. You can get people healthy or vaccinated. What doesn't make sense is that the vaccine will do absolutely nothing, because the treatments that we have available is 92%. Actually, it actually have a very good success rate of 92%. So I don't understand where the hell the vaccine comes in. So the businesses are still gone. Maybe that will somehow magically create businesses. Obviously, that is far from common sense. But it's actually a worrying factor that is actually going on. It is the NASDAQ, the Nikkei, the Dow Jones, S&P 500 is actually sitting dead still, but the emerging markets are actually climbing. I saw yesterday the JSE was hitting an all-time high. Also, the NASDAQ was hitting an all-time high. It actually moves straight up. But on the currency side, absolutely nothing happened. Also, the stocks in Europe, especially the Italian one, went up, but honestly speaking, based on what? That is the big question. Why these markets are going up? I understand it is future. These markets are working in the future, but you have to be sure today of what is going to happen in the future. For example, if there's a stimulus package that comes through, I would understand that the market would go up because the anticipation of the stimulus package. But as things stand, there's no talk about the stimulus package. Nothing. And that is all to do now with the impeachment of Donald Trump. And sadly, this impeachment will take about 2 weeks, because all the representatives, or the majority of the representatives, needs to actually state their case why they want the former president to be impeached. Now, President Donald Trump totally ignore these impeachment processes, because I think for the last day or two, he did not appear nowhere. So, what will be my prediction for the market, or what will happen to the market? That is the main story. Now, as I said yesterday with my free signals that I gave, I got a bit of a bump yesterday, but obviously I didn't die. That's why I'm here. Please don't forget to register for the account on the link below. And then you will get also the free signals and my classes absolutely free. So just do the registration, and then I will get you on board with my online classes, and also the signals I will give you for absolutely free. Now, so what will be the whole story? Now, I'm dead sure the market will actually get a bit impatient with this whole 1.9 trillion stimulus package. And then, obviously, if that is the case, then you will see a dollar that will roar back. Now, the big question is, what normally happens when the dollar roars back? Now, what we all know, if the dollar goes up, everything gets smashed. That is now the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the gold, everything basically gets smashed. The Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, everything. Now, will the dollar roll back? The only thing that keeps the dollar down is this anticipation of a stimulus package of 1.9 trillion that will go down. The thing is, the stimulus package is actually the largest package in the United States history. So obviously, that put pressure on the United States dollar to go down. Now, as things stands, the market is not the market, but the representatives in the House of the United States, excuse me, are more concerned about Donald Trump, impeaching Donald Trump. So, that means there's a high possibility that the dollar will rise, because even with that news yesterday that was bad, of the inflation data, I literally thought that this is now the case for for Janet Yellen and for Jerome Powell to actually now to say, okay, now they're gonna stimulate the economy or make their voices heard. Absolutely nothing happens. Nothing. So if these guys are quiet about a stimulus package and the focus is now on a impeachment process for the president, then definitely the dollar will start to rise. And that is exactly what I think it was going to happen. Because with that inflation data, it did absolutely nothing with the dollar. Because I thought the dollar is going to go down, because that will put the case on for more stimulus, and the dollar will sink. Nothing. It was hitting a brick wall yesterday, and the dollar actually was sitting dead flat yesterday. And it looks like it's actually going slightly up today, because the dollar index is on 0.06%. The euro is up, British pound is slightly down, Australian dollar slightly up, New Zealand dollar slightly up against the greenback. Now, the other part also for today is the commodities. Oil prices are actually down with a 0.65%. That is now crude oil. And then Brent crude is also down with a 0.6%. After it was hitting at 61 mark yesterday, and is now going down. On the other side, gold is also slightly in the red, and that tells a story that there is no stimulus that will come through in the short term. Because this impeachment process can take longer than what is expected, because it's not possible for Congress to switch now from an impeachment to a stimulus. So what I do tell you now is to prepare yourself for one hell of a sell-off. Because the market behaved for the last few years now like junkies. If they don't get what they want, they sell off the market. As simple as that. They want the free money. They want the free stimulus checks that come through. They want the banks to get pumped up with money so that the rich and the famous can borrow this money at zero interest rates. That is what the market wants. They are like drug addicts. So if the drug addicts are not getting their money, they will definitely sell it off. Now, it is not actually a myth for the stocks, especially in South Africa and other emerging economies, to fly up yesterday, because I think that is the last kick of a dying horse. And that's normally that happens with a big crash. It always flies up for a day or two, a sharp increase in it, and then it's going to go down, because I see absolutely nothing that can drive the market. Look, South Africa is dead and buried. I honestly don't know what can go up in South Africa. We have load shedding in South Africa. We have a stupid president. We have, look, it's just bad to worse here in South Africa. We are in a lockdown that nobody knows why. And JSE is going up. Listen, that is not good at all. So basically what I can say is that definitely the dollar will start to rise. And when the dollar starts to rise, you know precisely that the market will start to tank all over the world, whether you're in Asia, Africa, or in the United States. Once the dollar starts to rise, it will put pressure on the equity markets and the stock market, and it will definitely go down. That I can assure you. Now, the US bond markets are slightly up, or the US 10-year bond is actually slightly up with a 1%. And I think that fortune might change very quickly there. And I'm just actually going to the VIX, because that is also a very good indicator. And the VIX has been up and down this week. The VIX is slightly in the red, but the NASDAQ is slightly up. The S&P 500 is slightly up. Dow Jones is slightly up. But I can tell you now, I don't think the story will last long. And you need to prepare yourself for the bulls to come back. For the bears to come back strongly. So please don't forget to register on the link below. Open up your free account so that you can get my free classes, which will be pure on fundamentals. And then also you will get my signals as well. And also I will have the Skypes with the sessions with you via Skype so that we can have a live session. Please, and you have to fund your account with at least a minimum of $100. And then with that, I will give you all my setups and everything. And we will actually take some live trades also during the class. So please don't forget to do the registration. The link is actually below in the description of the podcast. So that is it from my side today. Please be aware of the bears, because I think personally they will come back, because there is no stimulus money that will come through anytime soon. Please be aware. That is it from my side. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.
The champ is here! The champ is here!